I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
You look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all.
Hey, it might help if I added myself. But yeah, I was saying it is Smackdown. My name is Chris Best, coming to you live from my living room as part of Turnbuckle affiliation program. But right now, we've got Cody Rhodes making his way to the ring. We got two titles on the line tonight. We've got the Women's Championship as Nia Jax is looking to defend her title against Naomi. Also on the card tonight, we've got Tag Team Championship action. As the Motor City Machine Guns will be defending their tag team titles against the Street Profits for the first time. And right now, we've got Cody Rhodes coming out, not dressed to the nines, with his championship, maybe looking to have a fight with one Kevin Owens, because he was out there trying to help Randy Orton after what Kevin Owens did to him last week with that pile driver. You just know that, again, you know that Cody's going to want to get some sort of revenge or something. We're going to find out here shortly as Cody is continuing to make his way to the ring here. Like I said, not dressed to the nines, but dressed like he's going to have himself a little bit of a street fight here. And the first thing you see is Cody grabbing the microphone here. And of course, we're taking a look at last Friday when Randy Orton and KO started brawling with each other. Of course, all the officials trying to get in there. And then we see KO deliver the pile driver that put Randy on the shelf. And of course, again, that's more than likely why Cody is out here. Because again, there you see it on your screen. If you're watching live with me, you see Cody getting into the ambulance with Randy Orton. But here we go. Let's see what he has to say. Cody immediately calling out Kevin Owens here. And we're waiting on KO to come out here. Cody also showing some signs of impatience, as it were. And Nick Aldis is coming to the ring right now. Nick Aldis making his way out there. Nick Aldis saying until he figures out what to do with KO, he can't have him in the building. I mean, Cody laying down some emotional truth there. Came out and basically said, he said to Nick Aldis, put yourself in my shoes. Imagine being the one to call Randy's loved ones and having them to tell that he doesn't know what the extent of Randy's injuries are. This has definitely become a story of revenge for Cody. As we all know, Cody and Randy, I mean, there's a lot of history between those two men. Randy, of course, taking Cody under his wing and forming the legacy and helping Cody, get over and just, get his figure out his way through the business on his own without Dustin, without Dusty. But right now, we've just had the Usos and Sami Zayn doing a promo. I missed that because I was just talking to you guys. But right now, Bayley is making her way to the ring, and this is going to be a triple threat match for the triple threat match in the first round of the U.S. Women's Title Tournament that was officially announced today. A little bit of a change in Bayley's entrance attire. She's got herself a robe that says role model across it. It's going to be Bayley, Candice LeRae, and B-Fab. I can already say, as much as I do enjoy B-Fab these days, I think it's easy to say she's not winning this match. But Candice and Bayley, that's the interesting part of this match here. Because right now we're getting a commercial for the WWE shop. I'm going to tune over right now and check out. So in between this show tonight, I'm watching my local hockey team, the Sioux Greyhounds, as they are playing the Flint Firebirds, and they are up 1-0 right now. So that makes me a happy man right now. And we got our pal Scott Stanford, of course, advertising Survivor Series WarGames coming to Vancouver. Looking forward to that one. That'll be Saturday, November 30th. There will be a PLE patrol for that show. And you will find that PLE patrol right here on Turnbuckle Studios, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and across Twitch. Okay, just saw a piece of news that kind of intrigues me, and I'm definitely going to wait till OMD comes on this show because I know he's going to want to talk about this as well because this is pretty intriguing stuff, and this is things that we've actually been putting out there in the universe as far as Turnbuckle Talk goes, which you can catch 8:05 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights, or 8:05. Oh yeah, it is 8:05. I was going to say 6:05, but that's WCW Saturday night. Hey, speak of the devil. OMD. I was just talking about you.
I just literally got Smackdown on as I came in, so I was literally getting it on as we came back from commercial break.
So you completely missed the opening promo then, right?
I did.
Do you want me to just give you the lowdown on what happened?
No, I will watch it at 11.
Okay, it's an interesting promo. It's Cody's in the promo. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Okay.
while we were at commercial break, I decided to pull up my pro wrestling news stories and I found out something very intriguing today, and it's just now, and it's something that we have been putting out in the universe as far as Turnbuckle Talk goes.
Okay.
Scott D'Amore.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, he recently visited the WWE Performance Center.
Yes, but there was nothing more to report on it other than he was there and had a tour and talked with some people.
Right. But where there's
smoke, there's fire.
Exactly. Exactly. So right now on my screen, we've got the woman that's coming out that I don't think is going to win this triple threat match.
Right. I've got her too, and I believe this is her first main roster match ever.
You know what? I think it is too, but I'm excited to see that because I feel like I don't even remember her wrestling in NXT.
I think she only ever did 1 or 2 matches there.
But bottom line is I am excited about this. I'm a little bit annoyed that we're getting another triple threat tournament for the U.S. Women's Championship.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm going to just watch and see how this plays out, especially with the other 2 women that we've got in the ring, which is Candice and Bayley. And we know that they've had issues over the last couple of weeks.
Yes. And that sort of leaves this door wide open for BFAB.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know that there is a certain name that I have been hearing as already the leading favorite to win this tournament in Bianca Belair. But I really hope not.
No, I hope not either, because I really like what she's doing right now with the women's tag titles.
Yeah.
So in that case, like as I was saying, like we got Candice and Bayley having trouble. I don't think I would actually mind BFAB taking this one.
I wouldn't either. I also wouldn't mind Candice taking it. I don't think Bayley needs this one. Bayley needs a win, yes, but I don't think Bayley needs this title.
No, because I still think we're going to Bayley and Nia Jax at some point for the title. And I think if you want to get Bayley that win back, maybe you have her pin Nia in WarGames, because I still feel like we're going to WarGames with them two.
Right. Right. I think, in all honesty, I don't think we're going to see much of Bayley versus Nia unless it's potentially WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And that would require Bayley probably winning the Chamber as opposed to the Rumble.
I wouldn't be opposed to Bayley being the first woman to repeat, though.
Me neither. What I wouldn't be opposed to either, though, is if and when, depending on when this draft is, if we have it before Netflix, if we have it after WrestleMania, I wouldn't be opposed to her going to Raw and challenging whomever is the women's world champion, whether it's Io Sky, whether it's Liv Morgan, or even potentially reforming Damage Control if Io and Kyrie come and say, you know what, like, we made a mistake. We let Asuka, we let them get into our heads. Even Dakota would have to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, well, as I had found out from Mr. Parrish, it's going to be a long while till we see Asuka come back.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, commercial break. I can flick over to the Greyhound game.
Yes, I do not have a game on tonight, and I am preparing for Mr. Parrish and I to go to war on the ice tomorrow.
Yeah, the Greyhounds are up 2-0 on Flint right now. And they're playing, obviously, at the Gardens tonight.
Right.
Because I saw people trying to sell tickets to the game tonight. And if I had the money, I honestly, I mean, not to abandon this show or anything, but I probably would have grabbed a ticket to go.
Hey, you do what you got to do, man. I could have picked this show up when I got home.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking sometime in the new year, I'm thinking about buying a couple of tickets to go.
Right. Well, depending on, I'm looking at March plans, but if everything works out, doesn't look like I'm going to be able to go to Our Lady Peace. Apparently, there's only like 4 seats left throughout the arena.
Yeah, I grabbed mine the week the tickets went out, you know?
But I am waiting to see, because I am awaiting information on a pre-sale for a very significant event happening on March 1st in Toronto.
Yeah, and that's Elimination Chamber.
Yes, it is.
Which there will be a PLE patrol. I'm already calling it right now. I am going to do a PLE patrol on that one. Mostly because I've got a lot of the things from when they did Money in the Bank earlier this year in Toronto. I can just convert a lot of that over to Elimination Chamber.
Right. Well, if I can go, I will check in periodically throughout the show.
I've already said, as we're looking at a commercial for WarGames, or I was at least, that there is going to be a PLE patrol for Survivor Series WarGames.
Oh, I figured as much.
Yeah. Well, I think you might have figured that based off the discussions Bubba and I were having the other night. So
I sort of anticipated it one way or the other.
Yeah.
As well, we've had a second Saturday night's main event announced for January.
Oh, did we?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Yes, and it will be Saturday night, January 25th. So a week before the Rumble. The only thing we don't know is where it's from.
I've got to say, for how long it's been since BFAB had a match, she's not looking bad in this match.
No, she is not. Now, I do have to ask, are we going to, for Saturday night's main event a month from now, are we going to have a WWE Saturday night?
Yeah, we are actually that week. There will not be because there will not be a Saturday Night Gaming. but there will be a Saturday night's main event. So,
well, I think you saw where I was coming from with the little play on words there with WWE Saturday night.
Yeah. No,
2 hours of power.
There will be that. I don't know if I'm going to pre-tape an episode for Saturday Night Gaming for that week. It'll all depend on where I'm at in the game. If I've hit a crucial point in that game, which I'm doing The Last of Us 2, if I've hit a crucial point in that game, I'm going to probably do a pre-tape, you know?
Absolutely. See, I think my personal favorite to win this tournament has to be Candice, because
The
really
woman has
her track record in wrestling is impeccable.
and right now that woman's got a chip on her shoulder, especially with the departure of Indy Hartwell.
Yep.
And
you know what? I would be okay if it came down to Candice, Michin, and Shotzi. If Shotzi's back.
This all depends on who else is in the tournament, right? Because these are the only
Absolutely.
3 women that have been announced to be in the tournament. And okay, for a second, the way they were shooting that, I thought I got the finish.
From what I remember in NXT, BFAB never looked this good, and the only match I really remember her having was a hardcore street fight.
You know what, though? This is probably what she's been doing. I mean, how long has it been since we've seen her in the ring? Close to 3, maybe 4 years, right?
Yep.
What I expect that she's been doing is probably going to the PC and in her off time and just soaking everything in and learning everything and just understanding the psychology of wrestling, as it were, you know?
Yeah.
But let's say BFAB does take the win here. Would that be an omen for the Street Profits later tonight?
I'm going to say no, especially given what both Montez and Angelo have said on social media this week. Really saying there's nothing left for them if they don't win.
Well, they said tag title or bust, but that can mean anything.
That was Angelo Dawkins. Even Montez has been on record in the last couple of weeks saying, I'm ready to go out on my own. So I have a feeling we are going to see an implosion there one way or the other.
Okay, so now we've got the entire bracket. We got Bianca, Chelsea, and Blair, Elektra Lopez, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi, Piper, Niven, Michin, and I missed who was in that one.
Jade.
Was it Jade?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, give me Blair to win the second round against Bianca.
Ooh. So we've got more recruiting going on with the bloodline, the OG bloodline, by the way.
We do.
As Sammy just was talking to LA Knight, I assume he was trying to recruit him.
Yep, I'm seeing that. And LA Knight basically said, nope, I'm going to handle my business. And I want that new LA Knight shirt.
And right now we're seeing a commercial for the WCW pack, which you can get our thoughts on that if you want to tune in onto the CBRS Entertainment channel or next week on OMD's channel. You can get our thoughts on the WCW pack from the PlayStation Showcase this past Wednesday.
Yes, yes.
That was a very fun episode. I love doing that one.
Good. Good.
And speaking of the PlayStation Showcase, I'm thinking next Wednesday, possibly looking at the Hot Wheels game that I got for the PS Plus.
Okay. Intriguing. As you saw last night, as we thought we were going to wrap up Atlas Fallen, it looks like there's still quite a bit more for us to go into before we can actually wrap it up.
Yeah, and I'm still playing through Wildlands. I cleared a province last night while watching you guys.
Oh, nice.
But now I'm working on a province that doesn't have a boss, so I'm just going around and, collecting
Right.
stats and things like that to boost my characters up.
Right.
And because there are some of those provinces that you can go into where you don't have to fight a boss, you just go in,
Right.
take care of enemies there while gathering your skill points and things like that.
Right.
Still 2-0 in the Greyhound game. And here's the funny thing. The last time I tuned in, Flint was on the power play. I tune in again, Flint is on the power play. Now, when it comes to sports this weekend, I will be watching the Bengals-Chargers game on Sunday night.
Yes.
And I have every reason to be worried about that because I've been watching a lot of the Chargers this week too, or this year.
No, I would be absolutely worried about that. Even though I have given up on the season, I'm going to double check and see. Well, we've got the Raiders.
Should be an easy game for you guys.
Should be, but the Raiders always play us tough, and our best defensive lineman from last season jumped ship in the offseason and went and signed in Vegas, and Christian Wilkins. So I would not be surprised to see him try and light up our O-line.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily kill Tua, but at least get a sack.
Just looking at one of our group chats, and Bulkster said he gave in and subbed to Netflix to watch the Tyson Logan Paul fight happening tonight, or Jake Paul fight happening tonight. Should have told him it's actually free on YouTube. I found somebody broadcasting it free on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Believe it or not, even though it is a Netflix exclusive, what has happened is in my IPTV, they said there was a way they found to get around it, so it is being broadcast live for me as well if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't have enough interest, and I'm sure I could watch the main event after SmackDown anyways. Because they're only just started the main card at 8 o'clock.
Okay, never mind. The fight, the link I found was a spam link. So, good on Terry for doing that, but I can almost guarantee you somebody's going to upload the fight for free on YouTube afterwards. Right now on my screen, I've got the woman who I would like to see with the championship, and that's Chelsea Green. I think I'd like to see her win this one or win the tournament.
So intriguing development there.
I think I would like Meechin and BFAB as a tag team.
Yeah.
It gives Meechin something to do.
Yep.
It gives BFAB something else to do.
I can absolutely see Meechin going to the finals. I can't remember who she's facing.
Oh, geez. You know what? The bracket's probably already up online. So
Yeah. But
oh, look at that! WrestleZone's got the bracket up.
they're showing LA Knight from the Milwaukee Bucks game the other night because I watched that online. I can't remember if it was last night or today at work.
Okay, so Meechin is in the bracket with Piper Niven and Jade Cargill, so that sort of made sense there. And Chelsea Green has got Bianca and Blair. U.S. title open challenge coming.
Yes, and very intriguing that looks as though it's going to be Santos Escobar.
You know what? I'm actually happy about this because it just means that we're not getting Mello or Andrade, but we probably will see them. I'm going to say later on in this match.
You know what? I'm going to go no, but I do think that with Los Garza dressed and ready to compete, I could see this breaking down to a 6-man tag.
Okay, so Berto's getting the title shot.
Yes, that he is. I am intrigued by this development.
Well, I mean, LA Knight did. I mean, he did spit some truth in because he has beaten Angel Garza. Or why am I
Santos
trying?
Escobar?
Thank you, Santos. He's beaten Angel too. I'm pretty sure at some point.
Probably.
But yeah, he's beaten Santos. I think Santos was actually one of his first contenders after he won the title from, again,
I believe
who we
so.
mentioned earlier tonight, Logan Paul, which I expect because of the Jake Paul fight tonight. I expect we're going to get Logan Paul returning after tonight at some point.
I do too. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that though until the Rumble, just because he is taking time off and family time because he did just have a baby girl and wants to be home and wants to be that dad. And hats off to him for that. I would not be surprised if Logan Paul is in Jake's corner tonight.
That's why I said after tonight, because I guarantee he's there.
I mean, we all know. I'm sure that Logan Paul can counter the Ric Flair effect because Flair is in Mike Tyson's corner. But those two are business partners.
Yeah, for a little green product that I enjoy sometimes.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of their products in our stores just yet, though.
No.
So I'm actually this Scott this I thought that was still the story on so I'm going to save that Scott Demore story because I believe that is something we will be talking about on Turnbuckle Talk.
Yes.
I'm trying to be a little bit proactive in getting some stories earlier than usual so I can build our room and not have to worry, you know?
Right.
This program is aggressive in nature. It may contain themes that are not suitable for everyone. Your discretion is advised.
All right, Carl.
Not gonna lie, that scar tattoo on Umberto looks really fucking cool.
It does. However, it does remind me a lot of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards when they were
The American Wolf.
the Wolf. Well, no, that was Ring of Honor. They were the Wolves in TNA, and then that was when they broke that out.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that first. But, of course, Davey Richards is now retired from pro wrestling.
Which sucks because I really wanted to see Davey in a WWE ring.
So did I. We did get to see it once very briefly.
Yeah.
When they had a match on NXT.
Just like James Storm.
Yep.
However, in James Storm's case, I actually understand why he did what he did there.
Yeah.
Because WWE gave him a contract that was considerably less than what TNA was giving him.
Well, when he took his NXT match, it was the one-off, and it was basically to sort of feel. And TNA offered him the security that WWE couldn't.
Yeah, in the finances. Because the WWE contract that was offered to him was only for $60,000. The TNA contract was $250,000.
Oh, I didn't hear that one, but the TNA just offered more stability over the long term with less work and allowed him to go and work the indies.
But Hunter had told him that like the door is always open if you do want to come back. And I'm hoping that kind of sort of rings true today because I know that he's still working. He's actually working with the NWA right now.
Yes, he is. And honestly, I would love to see James Storm come back and reignite his feud from TNA with LA Knight.
Dude, when he came to NXT, Bobby Roode was already in NXT at that time.
Yep.
I was hoping for like a reuniting of Beer Money in NXT.
Right. Everybody was. And we can do all that fantasy booking, but then you have to look at, for us who are the hardcore fans who will try and take in as much as we can, But how many people ignored TNA or slept on it and ignored beer money?
Yeah.
So you could have kept them separate and then still had them come together a lot later. You could have kept them separate, much like we're hoping that they do with people like Hikuleo and Lantanawaii with the bloodline.
Yeah. And that was the other thing too, like we're talking about reuniting tag teams, and I'm gonna go right deep here. But I hoped the Kings of Wrestling would have reunited when Chris Hero came to NXT.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to see him and Cesaro form a team, and we've got the finish. The finish happened here. LA Knight took the win over Berto, which was expected. But Berto actually, like, he reminded me of just how good of a wrestler he actually is.
Yeah. But you know what? Again, that was the thing where both Chris Hero and
who's that?
Cesaro said, "No, I don't want to."
Dude, watch the screen. Who is that? I can't. Is that Nakamura?
Yes, it is.
Holy shit!
And that's a new look.
A very new look, and I love it.
Right?
Wow. I couldn't tell who it was because of that long shot at first, because he had the long shot of LA Knight standing in the corner. And I literally, because we were talking about Beer Money and James Storm, for whatever reason, my mind went to Chris Harris because of the way his hair looked.
Right. And now they're calling him the Wayward Samurai.
Huh. It's kind of a cool nickname, not going to lie. Okay, so I didn't catch what they said to each other before going into Roman's locker room.
Roman told us to meet us here, and Sami Zayn said, let's go. So they all walked into the room.
But holy shitballs. Nakamura's back, and I am happy.
Well, and we said last week we were anticipating him back anytime in the coming weeks in a heel. I love it. The Wayward Samurai, and you could see him being the one to take that belt off of LA Knight. He almost had that.
Because here's the thing, right? When we talked about like possible guys to take the belt off LA Knight, I don't think any one of us brought up the idea of even Nakamura being the one to do it.
I believe Parrish might have. But, I think they need to, because now that you've got Nakamura with the face paint and that hair, almost reminiscent of the Crow, but a lot lighter on the makeup.
More of a, and I'm going to use a Ninja Turtle reference here, but more of a Last Ronin kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because if you've read or at least looked at any of those comics, the Last Ronin Turtle series is extremely dark.
It is. It is. And there is actually an R-rated Ninja Turtles Last Ronin movie coming along with the video game.
I don't know about the video game, considering the latest video game from the Turtles got shit on hard.
Yeah, no, the video game has been confirmed. It is still in development, so it's not like they're not rushing to put it out like next week.
Okay, I'm a little bit more confident in reading who the publisher is now. I'm a little bit more confident in the game.
Okay.
THQ Nordic is doing it, and they've been putting out some pretty decent games lately.
Yes, it was actually one of the first games that Bubba and I discussed when the Boar's Nest took to the air with the two of us over a year ago.
And the last Ronin movie is still in pre-production, and coming from a guy who has worked in film production, we're still waiting a while yet for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because pre-production, typically, you're looking at about a year before it goes into production.
Yeah.
And then with production, depending on how much money they get from the studio, you're looking at a minimum of like 1 month to at least 2 years for a movie to be made.
Yeah.
And I say 1 month at the minimum because that's actually how long it took for them to make the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
As we're getting some hype for the Royal Rumble, which is getting me even more excited because the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
Right.
I like that we're getting tickets advertised for us as well. I mean, well, actually, I'm pretty sure we get them for all the big four. But for those of you viewers out there who don't know, Indiana is actually the Lucas Oil Stadium is not that far of a drive for us.
No, it's not.
To go to the state to go to the arena. It's just having a passport. That's the problem.
Yep.
WWE Women's Championship match. We got Nia Jax defending against Naomi. 2 championship matches tonight, by the way.
Yes. And I'm wondering which one of them is our main event.
We're at the halfway point of the show right now, so
one of them is going to be the next match.
did you hear what Jay said?
You got to make that call.
A certain wise man is going to get the call. I guarantee it.
Yep. Or he's making the call to Lance or Hikaleo. However, I will not say who it is, but I do know the 5th man.
I don't, because I don't like being spoiled. So
I didn't try to, but I do know who the 5th men are.
I'm still reeling off of seeing Nakamura back in the ring.
Right.
Bulkster, how's it going? Glad to have you here. I know you're watching the Tyson Jake Paul fight. Don't spoil that fight for me, by the way, because I do want to watch that. Because right now I'm more intrigued with what we've got with the bloodline right now, as Solo has got the microphone and is in the ring right now. I was glad to have you here, Parrish, as we've got Roman making his way to the ring.
Yeah. Whew. I didn't think I was going to be in here.
No, we have the OG bloodline making their way to the ring, not just Roman Reigns.
And everybody just brawling right off the get-go. Oh, Parrish, what have you caught of SmackDown so far?
I saw Solo get in the ring, and then everybody else got in the ring, and then here we are. So we'll just go from what we have, and then I'll catch up.
Okay.
All right. Bulkster, to acknowledge your comment, yes. Yes, Bulkster, he is back, known as the Wayward Samurai.
Roman Reigns saves Sami Zayn. As we're about to have the moment.
A match that I would love to see.
Oh, I was going to say the moment with Sami and Roman.
Mm.
You can tell they were working on that. But then we get the moment of Jacob and Roman.
Oh. This is interesting.
Yeah. No, I know you wanted to see Jacob and Roman. Did you ever have Bronson and Jacob on your bingo card?
And I honestly, I did not. I I mean, I know that we saw, I think it was Solo talking to Bronson on Raw.
No, what you saw was probably a spoiler for the upcoming week, because what we did see was only Solo talk to Seth.
Actually, I didn't see any. I didn't see any spoilers for the upcoming week.
Then how do you know what happened?
I was
Well, we
just
saw
basing it off
Solo
of a
talk
false
to-
memory.
Yes, we saw Solo talk to Seth.
See, I know what the spoilers are, so that's why it's funny.
As do I.
Moonsault's just beautiful. I mean, imagine Jacob and Bronson teaming up. Now that's
a scary team.
Oh God, what a... Oh, but I'd want to see them in the War Raiders, though. Oh God, come on,
Jesus.
Right?
Yep. Can you reinforce the ring for that one?
Hell, even do Rowan and Strowman. That would be awesome.
By the way, I think it's fairly obvious who Roman's going for as the fifth man.
Well, I don't know if it's who Roman is going after, but it's very obvious of now who is gonna say I want in.
Yeah, it's going to be Seth.
Oh, I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my spot away, Baz.
I was voting Parrish. I was all for Parrish being accompanied to the
Everybody
ring by
steals
OMD.
my bookings now. What? I don't even get the hot girl. Come on, man. Yeah, and even Zack Ryder got treated better. Hey, it's Timu Buddy Murphy as security. Who, by the way, is absolutely jacked now. Dear Lord. Hey, Bulk Bogan. We need to have a conversation about February 2nd. Just shoot me something. I mean, I like the fact that Bronson Reed at least is wearing all black, just like the rest of the bloodline. But at the same time, there's a part of me that wants this bloodline to have some sort of logo identity as well. Because we're seeing the OG bloodline. Why can't there be that visual identity from like a logo standpoint?
Right?
Like, I know they had their side plates, but...
You know what the interesting thing is, too, is that Bronson Reed actually looks like he could be a member of the bloodline.
Well, he is Samoan.
He is.
He is part Samoan. And now Roman taking advice from Jay, just like he did from Jimmy before they got Jay.
Yeah.
You're seeing that little like change in the like. There are times where Roman gets hot and then he gets a little bit ego.
Mhm.
We saw that last week where he had his one pass, but we have been seeing a lot more open-minded Roman than we normally have, that we're normally used to, is the better way of saying it.
Yeah, and I mean, before he came out and was assaulted there, Jay recommended that you got to make the call because Jimmy, Jay, or Sammy couldn't get anybody recruited. We saw Sammy earlier in the night try to get some recruiting done, but he failed in that as well.
So a very intriguing little mark. It's almost weird because like I was so used to Bloodline being the last thing we see. So I was like, oh man, like what a good fade. What a end of SmackDown. And it's like, nope, not even close.
No, there's
we
still
still
two
got-
matches to go.
Yeah, we still have 2 championship matches to go.
But like, it's just like, how do you, but like where I was going with that, it's like, how do you follow what we just saw? Like that was good television.
Yes. And which of the 2 title matches is next up? Is it going to be the tag team titles or is it going to be Nia and Naomi?
I mean, they've been pushing Naomi and Nia for a bit. I think they should do that for the sole reason of having that build for the women's war game and making it more powerful and meaningful by having it close off. Plus, it's a world title. The tag team is not. I mean, it is, but you know.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't.
But I get it's the world title for the tag teams, but I guess I don't know. I mean, I think you need to capitalize on getting more investment and carrying out of the audience for the women's war games. So that's why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Especially like now that like the broadcasting, I know for another 37 days or so is only 2 hours. Then Raw and SmackDown go to 3 hours.
Yep.
We saw the women kind of get the short end of the straw here, where they're the ones whose storylines are being a little diminished. More of the main group is getting their time, and that hasn't changed, but the underlining has not. And then now we got that introduction to the U.S. title, so maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that build back up as we prepare for the 3 hours.
Right, and these next 2 matches would also make for 3 title defenses tonight because we did see LA Knight defend the U.S. Championship in an open challenge.
Yeah, and going back to what Parrish was saying about the women and how they're not really getting showcased enough on SmackDown, I found it a little bit interesting because today I actually finished the new intro for the Smackdown Security Detail, which you guys will be able to see at the end of the show, but I already debuted it at the beginning of the show as well. When I was putting everything together, I couldn't help but notice just how many, because I used a lot of featured wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers who are currently being featured as being top billed wrestlers on SmackDown, and I was actually surprised at how many women I was able to to pick out of the roster to put in that intro.
Right.
I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go into another StreamYard room and watch it before the end. It pays to think outside of the box. And let's face it, I don't need to hear the song because I've heard that song a billion times.
Right.
Yeah.
And for only the second time this week, I didn't need to get a code to get into StreamYard.
Ooh, somebody's computer is finally getting the memo.
Notice how it's only the shows that you and I run.
Yeah.
I like how you're making it more of a you thing than just throwing yourself under the bus a little bit. Can't help but find that funny. All right.
Ominous words from Kevin Owens there.
Yes.
Well, we're getting tag title action next.
We are.
I called it.
So I know, like, I missed the opening promo. Our opening match tonight was a triple threat women's match for the U.S. in the U.S. title tournament. And our main event is a women's match for the title. So.
Well, that's good. Like, well, I mean, you got to put emphasis on this U.S. title.
Right.
You got to put emphasis back on the women titles. And then you got to really amp up the importance of the women's WarGames match because we only have a few weeks left.
Yes.
In fact, you only have 5 more shows, including this one,
Mm-hmm.
if you really want to get down to the specific year. So you got to make everything count. And when you do that, you got to execute and take advantage of the minutes that you do have.
Yes. And as I informed Mr. Best earlier, a week before the Rumble on Saturday, January 25th, we are getting another Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did speculate when Jay told Roman, make that call. Is it the wise man, or is he expecting him to call the final boss? Is he expecting him to call The Rock?
Hold on, I got to take this.
Oh, so that's the phone call you had to leave for earlier this week.
Well, I mean, with the call, you listen. I'm just saying.
Right? If you get a scammer calling pretending to be Roman Reigns, you listen.
No, Solo didn't call me. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That was just well played.
It was.
Okay, Shelly, that was a little weird. That was a little weird, Shelly. I'm not going to lie.
I missed what he did.
Just go back and rewatch how he. See, now that's a side plate. Just go back and watch what he does on the top rope during his entrance.
Okay. Now, Best, you and I discussed earlier what the Street Profits have been saying on social media really the past week. But we also forgot to mention the idea of a potentially heel DIY involving themselves in this match.
Okay, yeah. I'm really not sure what the hell Shelley was trying to do there.
To kind of answer your question there, and I kind of like that little graphic there where it gives you the name and the job description of the four. I wouldn't mind them doing something like that for the official. But if DIY and Profits are going to be long-term heel tag teams, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, but I do think eventually you should have that Profits versus DIY heel versus face match once. Before you go that route, and maybe well, that could be the match that really puts really takes DIY over that edge.
Right. Well, because we were talking because the Profits really this week have been tag team titles are bust. Like, this is it. So, do we see that? Like, because we're not seeing the jovial Montez Ford. We're not seeing the jovial Angelo Dawkins. Do we see one of them turn on the other if they fail to win this match? Or do we see DIY get involved, costing them this opportunity to go heel? You get that, as you talked about, the heel versus face match one more time before it goes that route.
I think in a weird way you're looking at it a little bit too short-sighted, because just because they said titles are bust, just because they don't win the titles on SmackDown does not mean that they can't ask to be traded to Raw and go after the Raw titles.
Right.
And that is another set of titles that they could go after. Not to mention, if they're both on the same page, I don't think necessarily you have somebody turn on one, because you could just have them say, look, we tried, we kept failing, this ain't working, you got to go that way because I'm going this way. We could just see an amicable split for the time being.
Right. And, I mean, as you suggested, too, if they go to Raw, I know that the Machine Guns are new to the roster, but we are all very familiar with them from their time in TNA, Ring of Honor, and Japan.
Yeah.
Do we see Finn Balor and JD maybe as that easier tag team to beat for the tag titles over the Machine Guns?
It's hard to say because they don't have, like, already the Machine Guns have defended their tag titles a lot more, which is not saying much. Right. However, who's to say that Finn and JD are going to be the tag champions if they were to go over to Raw? It could very well be Eric and Ivar of the War Raiders.
Right.
And then I would say absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a very intriguing scenario when there's that ultimatum, it feels like, put on themselves now, and you just don't know if you can see WWE taking the titles off the Motors and Machine Guns so quickly.
Right.
However, they did with Braun with the IC, and they did with Jey Uso with the IC, so
yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't go against the grain here.
Right.
Oh, it was really funny. I was listening to the CVV Insight today, and one of the questions was asking Chris Van Vliet his Mount Rushmore of WCW cruiserweights, and he's like, "Please give a little shout out to my friend," and then it was some other dude. But I'm just like, they probably were watching Raw Patrol on Monday.
They had to have been.
Right.
In the Greyhound game, it's now 3-2 for Flint.
Oh, are the Greyhounds on the power play?
Let me see. Nope, just went to a commercial break, so couldn't tell you. But as per usual this season, the Greyhounds are blowing it in the third.
Oh, so they're pulling at Toronto.
Yeah.
Or in Edmonton.
Right. So which one of our teams blows it tomorrow night in the third parish?
I'm going to go with yours.
All right.
And he's not being biased. He's not being unbiased there.
Nope.
Hey, you posed a question. I gave an answer.
I did.
But these four men are putting on a hell of a tag team title match right now. And if I'm being completely honest, I'd like to see these guys go at it again.
Well, I think that's kind of the norm now to expect out of the tag team division on SmackDown. When you got a team like the Motor City Machine Guns, you're going to get, a match quality that's a different standard than what you're used to.
Yeah, and that's as I'm watching these two teams go at it, something tells me I want to see that Motor City Machine Guns taking on Berto and Angel Garza would be a fantastic match.
Once they're completely healthy.
Yeah.
Well, we saw Berto in the ring tonight challenging LA Knight for the U.S. title.
Yeah, but we aren't going to see Garza for a while. He's recovering from that wrist surgery.
But what we are seeing right now is a very ticked off Tommaso Ciampa just taking it to the Street Profits right now.
Yep. And no Gargano.
Not yet.
You guys are speaking too soon.
I wasn't speaking too soon. I was just answering him.
He was.
Oh.
Talking about Jax, welcome to the club, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. There's a lot to unwrap with this whole
Yes,
segment.
there is. So maybe we're getting the wrong team split that I thought, but who knows? There is.
I don't know if we're getting a split. I think we're just getting character development right now. Because when you looked, it was just a shove. It wasn't a shot.
Right.
And I think that's something there. Not to mention, you look at the face of Gargano. He looked like he understood exactly why he was shoved instantly.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Ciampa who is saying whatever it takes. It was
Right.
it was Gargano. Ciampa is just taking it to a different level.
Right.
And
See, I did see a look of surprise and then sort of that look of confusion as Gargano was going up the ramp, like, okay, like I don't know what's going on here. But again, as you said, character development and
I think he's probably shocked that it's getting to where it is, but I don't think he is shocked to understand that, Ciampa means business. Like I think it's that, and then but either way, it's understanding his tag partner and not getting upset. It's not like Ciampa threw him against the stage like he did years prior.
Right.
He shoved him down and then spoke directly at him. And when you do that, there isn't hatred there. There's just frustration, and
yeah.
there's just pure emotion, and it's really coming out. And
But
I think that's where you see now Gargano's like, look, we're not going to get the titles if I play Mr. Nice Guy and try to separate these two. He's going to have to pick a side. And ultimately, does Johnny Gargano want to be a tag champion, or does he want to have to start over?
right.
And then on the other side, we saw the Street Profits. Well, Angelo Dawkins. Jack, was it Alex Shelley he took down there?
Yep.
I can't remember
Yep.
right offhand.
Yeah.
So I think the seeds of a heel turn for the Street Profits are totally in play here now.
I think you could have said that last week, though, too. That was
Yeah.
quite the heel promo they had backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Angelo Dawkins who kind of was the first one to take that shot to the Motor City Machine Guns and say, now we're going to see how you handle real pressure. Kind of a dick thing to say.
Yeah. Okay, Sportsnet. It'd be nice if you can fade back into the show now.
Right. Not just sitting here with a black screen.
Oh, now we got color bars. And
It's-
there's the...
It's the Wyatts.
Yeah.
It's always the Wyatts. Also, here's a side question. Those color bars that you do see, why don't they follow the Roy bit that we learned in school? Just saying. Just saying.
Hashtag thanks Corey Graves.
I love the fact that WWE is acknowledging the signs and actually making note that they're encouraging fans to bring signs to the shows now. Just little things every week we're seeing WWE reopening the vault to what used to make wrestling cool in the Attitude Era. They're bringing those stuff back. Whether it's turns, whether it's moves, whether it's subtle things with camera angles or lack thereof camera movement. Now signs.
Yeah, the only thing I kind of don't want, I do like the idea of bringing signs back, but the sea of signs in the crowd, if you were at a live event during the Attitude Era, I think would have been really annoying at the same time.
Be nice to see Blair Davenport back on TV next week. It's been a while. And as long as, you know what, the only one out of that match I don't want to win is Bianca.
I'm just going to flat out say it. I want Chelsea to win. So
I do, but I also want Blair to win. And Naomi being accompanied by Bianca and Jade.
Yeah.
I just got to ask Naomi, what Muppet did she kill to wear that suit to the ring?
Right. And why
maybe
put
she's
the hood
not
on
at
when
liberty
you
to
get,
say.
Why put the hood on when you get to the ringside area, only to then take the whole jacket off?
Maybe it's easier.
And final score in the game, Flint defeats Greyhounds 3-2.
I love how my laptop that was showing Sportsnet decided I'm just going to restart on you.
Oh,
So-
joy.
But thank God I got the Sportsnet app on my phone.
Jesus.
Have they made any more closing in on the participants of the WarGames match for the women earlier in the show, or no?
No, the first indication for the women's war games was basically what we saw with Naomi, Jade, Bianca, and Bailey backstage there.
Yeah.
That's the only indication we saw. And I kind of thought that we were going to see some of that in Bailey's match earlier tonight.
I'll be back in a moment, guys.
OMD going for his locker room visit.
He is supporting Mr. Donald Dump tonight.
And Naomi, of course, doing exactly what I would have done in this match, just try to take Nia down right away. But Nia capitalizing on that as well.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, you got to do what you can, because if there's one thing that we're noticing of Nia is that she doesn't necessarily have the best starts in matches.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to get her kind of get a good shot in or two early, you have a good chance of kind of weathering that storm, and you definitely don't want to have to weather a Nia Jax storm right away in the match.
Yeah.
If you can avoid that at all costs, I think you do that.
By the way, this match isn't getting a lot of time either. So, unlike same thing with the main event on Monday didn't get a lot of time either as well.
I think we got to stop looking at the time and see what they actually do. And I think that's a big thing that the narrative is, oh, time means that it's always better. No, you can do a lot in a short amount of time.
Right.
But, I mean, they're getting bell-to-bell match time, not a lot. But with entrances, they're getting close to 15, 16 minutes. So on a 2-hour broadcast, that's not bad. The one thing I want to see from Naomi is when she does that sliding duck of the clothesline, she slides on her knees like that. I want her to almost, instead of doing a mule kick, almost slide all the way out and then bring your opponent out and then that, or turn around and then drop toe hold them into the ropes or something, because she takes a little bit of too much time when she does that to kind of get to that next strike. And I think it'd be very easy for a quicker opponent to take advantage.
I can 100% agree with that, actually. I always found like her trying to get up from that always looked a little awkward in my opinion. So yeah, doing something like a drop toe hold out of that would be is actually not a bad way to, again, get out of the knee slide.
Also, how fitting is it that we're getting OG Bloodline versus Bloodline, and in this match we have the wife of an Uso against someone who was born in the actual families.
Right.
And it's very close with The Rock. So, we're
getting
Bloodline versus Bloodline, kind of the theme throughout the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So now that I believe that we are on our final commercial break, guys, I'm going to showcase some of the stuff that we've got going on with the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. So everybody, just take a look and see what we've got going on here.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the Smackdown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
Hey, look at that. Back just in time for the action.
Knew it.
Yeah, I was going to click the same thing.
It's also ironic to see Naomi dressed up in the red and black, just like the bloodline, too.
You mean Nia?
That's what I said.
No, you said Naomi.
Yeah, you said Naomi, actually.
I muted you.
I unmuted him. Oh, he muted himself back.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, then turn down your stuff.
It's down. Like I can't even hear it. It's at level 5.
Well, now, yeah, but it's right by your mic, so it picks it up quick.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near my mic.
Oh, it was
Look,
loud though.
It was really loud, dude.
It's to the point where I'm grateful in that way because I don't have to have my volume on, but I can still hear what's going on. So it's almost like I don't have to put my volume on. So I appreciate that, actually.
Oh. Not as smooth with that fall away slam as she usually is.
No.
Or, sorry, Samoan drop.
I wouldn't even say that again. I wouldn't put that on Nia.
No, I wouldn't either, but because Naomi kind of jumped up on her a little weird on that one.
Well, it's not jump because you got to use the pose, but it's just a matter of if you somehow catch your arm in the wrong spot, that really changes kind of the trajectory of the bump. So.
Yeah. And here we are getting some more from the women's WarGames right now as Raquel and Liv just attacked the women's tag champions.
You'd have to think with next week's match, this is the same kind of thing to expect out of Bianca Belair and why she probably won't advance.
Yep. And perhaps the same with Jade's match in the tournament as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
That was cool. Oh wow! I mean, Naomi's giving it her all in this match, as is Nia Jax.
Yep.
back and forth in this match has been really good.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of old school Ring of Honor as opposed to no one really taking control.
And that's definitely the beauty that we've seen in this match, was that throughout the entire match, really, there was no, like, maybe with the exception of Nia somewhat at the beginning, but there's been no, like, dominant control of the match, you know?
Yeah.
And once again, Candice LeRae making her presence felt.
Within reason, too, for Candice. I mean, she did lose to Bayley earlier in the night.
Yes. In a fantastic showing.
Yeah, and she
start the show.
Yeah, and she has shown in the past that she is willing to be an asset to Nia Jax as well. And you can only assume she's going to be that fifth to round out Nia, Tiffany, Candice, and then Liv and Raquel as the 5 for the heel female war game match.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what a swerve there right there at the end.
Yep.
Now I'm questioning. I mean, I think it's still obvious Seth is going to be the one that joins the team, but I'm now questioning about how they go about doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I think we watch Raw and we watch SmackDown next week and hope that there's a little bit more. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah. I mean, I literally, because I told OMD earlier that when Jay said make the call, I'm like, Roman's calling the wise man.
Yep.
I did not anticipate that he was going to get a disconnected number.
Right. We all assumed that it was going to be the wise man, but I did pose the question of, could he call The Rock? We know that they were aligned at Mania, but then we did see the end of what happened at Bad Blood. So I know there's the speculation, and even we're in on it, that Rock is joining Team Solo. But
we've already got our 5 members for Solo's bloodline.
Which could then lead to speculation, if you haven't seen the spoilers, what we could expect on Monday with that match between Bronson and Seth. Yeah. So if Bronson has some backup, that doesn't pose great for the visionary, revolutionary, and the freaking one, Seth Rollins.
Right.
Yeah, and something tells me that during that match, we're going to see Sammy, Jay, and Jimmy. And dare I say it, and it's probably a bit of a reach, but Roman get involved in that based off the fact that Solo's bloodline could very easily get involved in that situation as well.
Right.
I would say we get more information, but I think next week's SmackDown is when we're really going to get the answer.
Mm-hmm. But overall, guys, what did you guys think of tonight's show? I mean, I thought tonight's show was fucking fantastic.
No,
it was a fantastic show. Still lots of curveballs that they threw at us. And just when we thought we had the answers, they went and changed the questions.
I mean, yeah, literally coming out of that U.S. title match, I'm like, okay, who's next up for LA Knight? Actually, throughout that whole thing, I was like, who's next up for LA Knight? And I did not predict that we were going to see Shinsuke Nakamura make his return.
No.
Well, didn't we talk about that just the other week? No,
we did. We talked about this last week post show. And I said, I believe you had potentially said Nakamura. I know I didn't have it on my bingo. Now known as the Wayward Samurai.
Yeah, no, and it's just, I think too, like just when you think somebody doesn't have anybody left, it's a great way to introduce them we haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great way to kind of make it fresh again. So could Nakamura be that guy that takes the title away from LA Knight? I mean, potentially.
I would be all for it.
I mean,
the big fan of Nakamura in me is saying yes to that.
I mean, there's still probable cause for Logan Paul to come back and say, I want my rematch now.
Yeah. And we actually discussed Logan Paul earlier as well. And I did say I don't expect to see Logan Paul back until the Rumble.
Oh, I think Netflix is going to be the big one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on January to February, and they shouldn't, because the Netflix is going to be a game changer for a lot of things.
It will.
But yeah, no, not only that, we got more development for the not just Bloodline versus Bloodline, but the women's WarGames. We got more development with the U.S. title tournament for the women, and then also we got more development within the tag titles. So all your titles got development in there, and we got that title match between Naomi and Nia. So where does Naomi go? Where does Bayley go? Bayley was told by the champions, we got this, and then Bayley was the one who got that. She was the one who played more dividends in the assist for Naomi to have a straight up match against Nia than Bianca and Jade. So do we see more of that down the road?
Right.
I mean, for Bianca and Jade, I'm going to have to assume we're going to get something on Monday about that because, well, I mean, like, Liv and Raquel, obviously, Monday Night Raw, part of the Raw roster, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then obviously the tag champs can go wherever they want, so there's definite that. Plus, don't we have Liv and Raquel going after the tag titles?
I believe
that was this past Monday, wasn't it? Or are they getting a rematch?
No, I'm just saying, like, they're going after the tag titles, so they have tag titles in their division.
Right.
So that's always going to keep them wanting something there. So, like, yeah, I think we're just going to see more development. And if you've read the spoilers to Monday, I think you know what happens. If you haven't, it's a great thing to check out because there's a show that likes to be on scene with Monday Night Raw. You might want to check that out on the Turnbuckle Studios programming.
Yeah. I think we've all said our piece as far as just how great tonight's show was. What do you say we give out them socials there? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Parrish.
Yeah, my socials. Tracking down. So if you can go left or right, you'll miss them because they're going right to left. So, see, coming back, yeah, Linktree right there. Yeah, gotta be quick. And if you're not quick, that's okay, because if you need to speed up a little bit, that's why you go to rogueenergy.com and you get a little bit of that good stuff, right? You get that energy back, that hydration back, and make sure that you save 10% by using the code word parish. But if you're on that Linktree, make sure you're checking out my X, my Twitch, my YouTube, Facebook, and that Instagram Live. Why? Because that is where you get to see the Chris Parish podcast every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're checking that out, because this is going to be a big one. As a lot of the interview that I did with Kamikaze, a lot of that got featured in a Slam Wrestling article. So go check that out.
Nice.
All right. And how about you, Mr. OMD?
Well, the people, if you're looking for me, you can catch me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMDShow. Visually, if you want to see me next, it will be Monday with the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., where I review this past Monday's Raw, preview Monday's Raw, and then at 8 o'clock, I will be joining Chris Best, Mr. Parrish, and Carl Carafel, if he's available, for the Raw Patrol.
No love to Bubba Duke?
Well, we don't know what Bubba's going to be doing. So,
all right, guys. If you want to find me, you guys can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can find me playing, doing some Saturday Night Gaming as we continue the adventures of Ellie through The Last of Us Part 2. And on that note, OMD, what are those famous words that our fearless leader, Carl Carafel, likes to go out on?
ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow.
You look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.
Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free.